Hello ladies and welcome back to another video. My name is Vigupal, and last video we took a look at the state flags of the US, and I gave my thoughts about them. Most of them were horrible, only a few good ones. So now we're looking at how I redesigned every state flag to look better. Now keep in mind, this is only part 1, since according to a recent poll I put out on YouTube, most of you want 2 separate videos, because redesigning flags and making this PowerPoint presentation takes a lot of time. So I was debating whether I should make 2 separate videos, with each video having one half of the flags, or one whole video. You guys want 2 separate videos? I'm okay with that. Okay. So moving forward, the Alabama flag. Now, the old Alabama flag was a poor attempt at the Spanish burgundy cross, and it looked a bit too simple. So I remade the Alabama flag. So the red background stands for courage, and the blue horseshoe represents their access to the sea, and how a lot of Alabama stuff revolves around horseshoes specifically. Next up is the Alaskan flag. The Alaskan flag was okay, but I decided to redesign it since I thought that was too many stars. So in my redesign, I didn't really add any stars. I kept the original color scheme. I kept the original color scheme, but I also added a bear in because it looks cool. The Arizona flag was okay, except for the red and yellow, the numerous red and yellow rays coming out from the top half of the flag, and also due to the orange star not contrasting very well. So I made it look like this, and I added a blue circle in the middle, and I gave a white border to the orange star, so now it looks okay. Next up, the Arkansas flag. The actual Arkansas flag is, extremely Confederate looking. It looks like a poor attempt at, trying to not look like the Confederate flag, and trying to ditch their history, although I'm pretty sure many people in Arkansas feel very proud of their Confederate history. So anyway, I kept the original color scheme and also added a diamond in, since Arkansas has a huge diamond industry, which I think was supposed to be represented in the actual flag through this diamond shape, but it doesn't work at all. The Californian flag. Now, the original Californian flag is actually pretty okay, except for the text underneath. So I got rid of the text, enlarged the bear and the grass he's walking on, added and shifted the stripe to. I slightly changed the color of the stripe, and put it to the left of the put it to the hoist side of the flag, and then enlarged the star a little bit. So now it looks okay. Colorado. Now, the Colorado flag was okay, except it looked too much like, a corporate logo. So I redesigned it. I gave a tiny white border to the sea. I removed the yellow circle in the middle of the sea. Yeah, that's about it. I also changed the shade of red to, make it not seem too saturated. Next up is Connecticut. So Connecticut has a lot of stuff revolving around grapes. As you can see in the original flag, they had grapevines over here. So we added a bit of orange, to represent hope and stuff. Added a bit of blue, since Connecticut has a blue background, so I thought a little bit of blue would be okay. And I added some grapes. It looks pretty good in my opinion. The Delaware Flag is, extremely, how do you say it, busy. There is a diamond in the middle, and underneath the diamond there's text, which I don't like. And within the diamond itself there's more text on a seal, which is also too busy. So in my redesign, I extended the diamond to touch all 4 sides, so it takes up more space. And inside the diamond I added 3 circles to represent the 3 counties of Delaware, and those are, and if I remember properly, the three counties are Kent, Kent, Newcastle, and Sussex. Next up is Florida, my state. So the original Floridian flag looks too much like Alabama with the state seal in the middle. So I made this the cross in the middle. The cross in the middle represents the overwhelmingly majority Christian population in Florida. The orange color represents our orange industry, which I'm pretty proud of, if I do say so myself. And this in the middle represents the sun. The Georgian flag looks, looks like another Confederate flag if I'm right. So I sort of simplified the whatever you call this, the archway, the canton area, so I simplified it a bit to make it look aesthetically pleasing, and added the other colors as stripes on the bottom, so looks a bit better. Now hear me out. I know the flag of Hawaii, the one I designed, looks a lot like the gay pride flag, but you couldn't be farther from the truth. So apparently Hawaii has 8 main islands, and each island has their own color. So I added all of the colors in stripes like this, and I know it may look a bit busy, but trust me, I really like how the colors on this flag contrast each other, and I could say it's a lot better than whatever the heck they have going on here. Next up is Idaho. It's another blue background state seal in the middle type of flag, so I redesigned it. So now it has a crude drawing of the Idahoan state in the middle. So it looks a bit more unique. And I added a star over here, and I used the color palette of green, yellow, and red, since apparently that's the Idahoan state colors. Now we have Illinois, which had a really bland looking flag, originally, but now I redesigned it. So now the blue represents the waterways, the water bodies in Illinois, and the yellow represents wealth. Yeah, sure, why not? It represents wealth, and the green represents the prairie land that is apparently bountiful in Illinois, and the star represents hope. Indiana. Now I didn't make a lot of changes in the Indiana flag. I just removed the text on top that says Indiana. So now it looks okay. Iowa. The Iowa flag originally looked too much like the French flag, and so I scrapped all of that, gave it a blue background, which I know originally is overused, but I think we can add a few blue backgrounds here and there. And I added a wild rose in the middle, since that's apparently the state flower of Iowa. Next up is Kansas. So bland flag originally, but now I redesigned it. I gave it a sunflower in the middle, since apparently that's sunflowers are extremely popular in Kansas. So this looks a lot like a Kansas flag. Kentucky. So apparently Kentucky has a lot of stuff to do with horses, so I added a horse in the middle. The blue represents the Ohio River that they are bordering, and the yellow represents all the corn that they like to grow, and the green represents the agricultural industry. The Louisiana flag is, kind of bloody, but I like how Louisiana has adopted the symbol of a pelican hurting itself, which I think is kind of funny. So I removed the text, I removed the babies that the pelican originally had, and I made it look a lot more like a Western European sort of symbol in the middle. So now it looks a bit more okay. Now apparently, before they had this bland blue background state seal flag, the state of Maine originally had a flag that consisted of a buff colored background. Yeah, this color is called buff, B-U-F-F. And they had a white, and I'm sorry, not white, a blue star in the Canton area, and then a green pine tree in the middle. So that looked like a really good concept to me, so I sort of recreated the concept over here, made it look a bit more easy to draw and stuff. Next up is Maryland. Now we have our first perfect flag. Maryland's flag does not need a redesign. Now I may know what you think, but Vigupal, you acted sort of harsh to Maryland in the last video. Why a sudden change of heart? Well, I looked at it again, and I thought the Maryland flag looks, quite unique. Like, you don't really see yellow and black paired together on flags these days. And the way that they used geometric shapes on this flag, I thought it looked pretty cool. So Maryland is our first perfect flag. There's more coming up in later flags. Massachusetts, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna call it Massachusetts. So Massachusetts apparently had blue, green, and cranberry, which I assume is a reddish color, as their state colors. So made it a bit more simplistic rather than the surrender-looking flag that they used to have. Added a star, and then added a circle in the star, and another circle. So now it looks a bit more, posh. So Michigan already has an extremely bland flag. So I added a new shade of blue as a background. I added the silhouette of a moose. I think it's a moose or an elk. I don't know. And I added a yellow dot as its eye because I thought, this flag should at least have 3 colors. Minnesota. Okay, so the Minnesotan flag originally is, bland as always. Apparently their motto is L'Étoile du Nord, which is French for the Star of the North. So I added a star on the northern part of this flag, and I added the colors as black, white, and blue. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I do not know why I added black other than for the aesthetics. The white is meant to represent whatever it is supposed to represent, liberty, I guess, and the blue is meant to represent the lakes, the numerous lakes and rivers that they have in their territory. And now we have Mississippi. Mississippi originally had an okay flag. I just thought it was, too many stars and too much text, so I removed some stars and I added a huge star over here, which I think complements the overall flag. So I simplified it a bit. Now we have Missouri. So the original Missouri flag looks like somebody took the Dutch flag and then plastered a state seal on it. So now I have redesigned it to make it look a bit more, geographically aesthetic. So the green represents the fertile land, the yellow represents the wealth, the wealth of Missouri, and the blue line over here represents the Missouri River, which is actually the longest river in the United States of America, if my geography is correct. Okay, that's the first 25 flags, so I'll soon make another video talking about the last 25 flags. So I guess you'll have to wait for that. Thank you for sticking along with me through the whole journey. You may have your own opinions on these flags. Be sure to put them in the comments below if there are opinions that are worth something. I don't want you to just put a comment saying the Michigan flag sucks and then leave no explanation. I suggest you give a bit more advice to me. So yeah, have a nice day and goodbye, gentlemen.